Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lisa from Inspired Wellness Tucson. Today I want to give you a tutorial for how to do dry brushing to clear your lymphatic system. This is super important when you're detoxifying, and remember, all of us are getting inundated with toxins. Even if you live a really clean lifestyle, we live in a really toxic world. So knowing how to cleanse your lymphatic system is really helpful because the lymphatic system cleanses the blood. So to get the basic understanding of what we're working with, the lymphatic system pretty closely follows the circulatory system. So just as the fresh, clean blood leaves the heart, goes out the arteries, out the left side of the body, feeds the left side, down to both legs, and then the dirty blood comes through the veins, right, up from the right back into the heart, and then the whole cycle starts over again. There are the highest concentration of lymph nodes in the gut-associated lymphoid tissue, and in the joints like the underarms, elbows, wrists, knees, ankles, hips, etc. So movements like little circles can help move lymph. Even taking a walk outside and pumping your limbs is the best way to pump lymph because lymph doesn't pump itself. There are no pumps in the lymphatic system, so we have to rely on movement and brushing to move that lymphatic fluid. So because of the way that it follows the circulatory system, the lymphatic system in the body is not symmetrical 50-50 left-right. It's what confuses a lot of people is that 3/4 of the body, the left torso and arm and both legs, drain to the left main lymphatic duct, and then just the right upper body quadrant is gonna drain to the right, kind of near or below the collarbone. So we'll use our natural bristle brush, which you can buy at health food stores or online really easily, usually about like $8 for it. And we can start around the lymphatic duct on the left, kind of above the breast. You can go across the breast, and then we'll make kind of circles here at the underarm. You can either just make circles with a brush, or if you want a bonus of movement, you can incorporate just some gentle shoulder circles to help drain the fluid. And then gravity is also our friend. If you raise the arm up, that facilitates drawing the fluid downwards. So once you've done that, we also want to get the back side of the body. So I will turn and show you how I get my back. They do make dry brushes that come with handles. Some of them have the handle permanently attached, which is less ideal because you could totally whack yourself in the face by accident using it. But if you have less flexibility or a bigger body and it's just harder to reach, I would recommend the ones that have a removable handle. You can take it off to do arms and legs and then attach the handle to get those hard to reach places. So it's a great option if you need it. My little trick, being small and flexible, is that while I can't reach everything just going like that, if I gently take my hand and prop my elbow back a little, all of a sudden I can reach practically the whole back. And remember, you just have to do one side at a time. So when I can't go any lower, I switch hands, and then I can come upward. And remember, as long as you're moving toward the heart, that's what's important. And the pressure that we're using is about the same pressure as the weight of a nickel or dime. You can even take a nickel or dime, place it on your arm, just to get a feeling comparison of like, okay, so that's the pressure. If you go deeper than that, a heavier pressure than that, you're actually closing off the channels that move lymph, so it's counterproductive. You end up kind of digging into muscle tissue instead of facilitating the flow of lymph. So once we have gotten that arm and upper trunk, we can get kind of the lower tummy and then start to do the legs. So to start the leg, you'd want to open up, kind of opening the doors, opening the channels for it to flush through at the inguinal lymph node. Then you can prop your leg up on a counter. You're in the bathroom. You can also do this lying down in bed, and then you just kind of raise your leg in the air. And if you are doing it lying down, or I can move you here just a little and show you how to do it this way. If we want to add a pumping motion, you can just gently, I'm just kind of bending and straightening my knee, which rocks the hips back and forth a little bit, and that ends up making it so the joints here are moving a little, which is going to help pump that fluid, right? remember there's lymph tissue behind the knee, so you'd want to get that. And the tops of the feet can be important too, especially if you get swelling at the ankles. This can be really helpful if you're pregnant because blood does tend to pool in the lower legs. And then we would switch sides. Again, start at the drain, open the drain first, and then get the thigh, 360 degree all the way around. Back of the leg is important. And then you can get the lower leg and top of the foot. And again, you could add a little pumping movement, makes it easier to reach to get the whole leg in one sweep. And then we'll turn around, get the behind, don't forget your booty. And then feed that up to the back. Switch hands, do our little trick, pushing the elbow back to get more access, more coverage. You can slide your hand in the strap to make sure it doesn't fly off, but if you want to reach a little further down, you'll have to take your hand out of the strap to reach, and then getting the elbow. We're finishing up here, getting that last quadrant of the body. So when should you do this? Do this before you bathe or shower. It's often recommended first thing in the morning, but if you take a bath at night, you can do it in the evening before your bath. You don't want to do it right after the bath because your skin is so like tender and open, and it would just be a little rough. And also it does exfoliate, so you don't want to be like creating a mess of dead skin after your shower. You can create a mess of dead skin before your shower and then have everything be wonderfully cleaned. So once we have finished the body, it's time to move on to the face. Don't use this rough bristle brush on your face, especially if you're over 40. I'm closer to 50 than 40, so I would not want to tear up my skin with a bristle brush on the face. Use a soft nylon brush, extra soft. It's softer than an extra soft toothbrush, and the face is just split in half, 50-50. So I'll start on the left. Short, gentle, brisk strokes down, again toward the heart. And a good thing to know, there are little lymph channels in front of and behind the ear. So if you take your fingers like a V, gently stroke down in front of and behind the ear, it feels great, and that's gonna be facilitating movement down. So all the parts of the face actually end up draining toward that ear drainage. So that's why I'm doing both at the same time. If that's too complicated for you, don't worry about it. Just do from the middle of the face out toward the ear and then down the neck below the ear. And then we'll come up to the forehead. And you can hold your hand in front of the hairline to make sure you're not pulling a bunch of hair down with it. But I like doing it that way too. And then if you get puffy eyes, allergies, crying, whatever, don't use a brush, but use your fingertip. You can very gently sweep across. And from the corner of the eye, go down toward the jaw and then join it back in with the neck. That is tremendously helpful for puffy eyes, helps drain them. And yeah, if you get puffy face, which is very typical with thyroid disease, I know before I started taking thyroid meds, I had a chubby face. Even though I'm very thin, my face was really holding fluid. So this has been a game changer, just to have a leaner, more chiseled face instead of a puffy face. And I'll switch hands here to do my little trick with the ear. And this feels really wonderful. So it's a great way to say hello and wake up the body in the morning. Great way to wind down in the evening. I have a client who is used to doing it before bed, and as she does it, it starts to make her yawn because her body has associated a relaxation response with it. So that's great. So that's basically it. And this is also a fantastic thing to do after having done a coffee enema. It helps, again, clean the blood, flush that dirty stuff out. And I often find once I've finished flushing out with the coffee, finish my green juice, which creates another flush, I'll do the brushing and then I have to flush out again because the body's like, oh wait, there's more stuff I want to get rid of. So wonderful way to detox. This has been so helpful to me in my recovery from biotoxin illness, having my body overloaded with toxic mold and heavy metals and chronic Lyme disease, all the crazy shit I've had to get over it. This has been so helpful to clean the blood, to get my system moving better, to flush out the waste products, and just to help my energy feel calmer, clearer, and healthier. So I hope this helps for you. Let me know if you have questions down below.